Hey everybody, it's Bruno. Here's my new episode of MB. Be my next guest on MB by clicking on the link below and we'll contact you. So listen, enjoy the episode.
That's right. What's up, you sucker? That's right. What's up, you sucker? What you looking at?
All right, hey everybody, it's Bruno on MB, where not everything has to be serious. So I have Melissa Agnes straight from the Big Apple, New York City. You touched on this, but what makes your Crisis Ready Institute different than others?
There's
firms, right?
yeah. So one, I think we touched on it a little bit, but one is there isn't another. The reason that the Institute exists is because I have a frustration with the status quo in my industry, and I don't complain without trying to find a solution when it matters a lot to me. So that's why the Institute exists. So there's nothing like it, and we're just starting. We are just beginning, and there's a lot coming with it. We've got massive goals for this. What we do is we help professionals, no matter what their role, function, organization, and their organizations, build the skill set and the capabilities to integrated crisis-ready culture, with the goal of being able to respond to any type of incident, issue, straight through to catastrophic crisis in a way where you are mitigating impact, you're de-escalating as quickly as possible, and ultimately you are coming out of it with increased trust and credibility. You are building upon your brand equity versus depreciating from it in response to issues and crises. So that we're not a firm that comes in and creates a plan for you. We're a process, we're a community of support that helps you learn how to build out your program and how to implement that into your culture so that you come out of it with strength and skills that you can now put on your resume. So I think you said it was George Costanza in Seinfeld. That'll actually mean something and be applicable and be a massive value add to any organization for which you work. We're helping you build and hone those skills.
I bet you're going to go look that up now, that little scene. I know.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
It's one of the best scenes ever. But okay, so I'm going to throw something else out to you, okay? You have no competition. And you might say, oh, I'm just being nice. Now, I'm really in the professional zone. I'm being very, remember, you don't take me seriously, take what I'm saying seriously. So anybody who's watching, including you, Melissa, you don't have competition. And I'll tell you why. Because you, in the brief time that I've known you, like it's been over a year and a half, back and forth, you could do anything you want. And I'm just not being complimentary. You can decide to do something and you're going to do it. The reason why you have no competitors is that you don't have to do this. You've chosen to do this. You've shared some of your story, and that's why you could have wrote down, instead of the Crisis Ready Institute, and I'm sorry if this is going off track, but you could have put the Pancake Ready Community Institute, and you would be the best pancake maker in the world. And that's really what I really admire about what you've done with the Crisis Ready Institute, is you have no competitors. There's nothing like this out there that I've seen ever, because you want it so bad. Tell us why you want it so bad.
Because it's not okay that leaders that are in positions that have won and earned positions to lead, that they did not live up to what they should have been doing for society, for you and I, for our families, for healthcare, for just, I don't agree with that. And again, it's a learnable skill. So there are professionals and leaders out there who just don't know, and who, upon knowing, want to learn and do the work and be better and stronger and serve in the capacity that they can and should. And then there are others that don't care. I want the Institute exists to support and serve those who don't know and want to, once they do know. So to educate them, to create awareness, and then to support them in that personal, professional growth, and to hold those who should be but aren't accountable. And that, I don't know if you can hear it coming out of my voice, but it's not okay that we have leaders that did not lead. That's not okay. People died as a result of that. Our economy is about to crash as a result of that. That's not okay. And again, I don't complain without trying to find a solution. I think that I have a really unique lens. I think that I have an amazing network that are all driven and impassioned by this shared vision and bringing us all together so that we can do that. We can create awareness, we can create support, and we can hone these skills that aren't taught anywhere else, not in universities, not in colleges, not in MBA programs. It's not taught anywhere else, and it should be, and people want it and need it. And then as well as to hold those that should be but aren't accountable to it. That's why it exists, and that's why I care about it.
The one thing that comes out of that too is that I know that everybody's going after the leaders and they weren't prepared in the countries. The one thing that really irritates me, because I come from a very responsible family, I'm just throwing that out, right? Like I like to joke around and everything like that, but we were brought up pretty straight up. And the one thing that irritates me is all these businesses that now are relying on subsidies and grants, right? They were not ready for anything. And they listen, I don't care. I'm going to burn people on this one because I'm so adamant about it, is because we as a family didn't do things because we needed to save the money to make the business run and put our kids through school and everything. And others are just kind of like, you know what, I'll buy a house with 1% down because the banks will let us do it, right? You know, at some point, like you said, it's not taught in MBA schools. They're teaching people in MBA schools how to kind of skim through the, you know, under the radar at a minimal rate. And you know what, I'm going to tell you, that really upsets me because now, because the leaders weren't prepared and the business people, call them business people, weren't prepared, responsible people like myself and yourself and other people have to literally bail them out again.
It's, you know, and so to your point, when I say leaders, I'm not just talking about government and world leaders. I really am talking about both government and corporate. Leadership is leadership. We're all leaders. Every single human is a leader, and should rise that occasion, or should take that responsibility in whatever capacity applies. Because there was a lack of leadership and skill set and ability to be crisis ready here when this should have been different. It created a space. It created this void, this space for others to rise up, right? It created a space of an opportunity. And so what I've been doing as well this year is teaching that, working with leaders in pretty much in this capacity in the corporate sector, and helping them understand how to lead through crisis, how to rise up to that challenge, the opportunity, both business and just kind of societally, that creates and involves, and that there is this void that is, people are looking for leaders. So there's this opportunity in this void that you can rise into, and the advantage that brings to your business, to yourself, to your community is monumental. So I agree with you 100%, and that's a big part of also what we're doing. Because how much even leaders need leaders, and that was the problem, was that nobody had all of the answers. Everybody was fearful of, especially in leadership, it's ego, but people are fearful of, I'm not going to say this today because tomorrow I'm going to get more information and maybe I'm going to have to pivot or retract what I said today. So therefore, I'm going to wait for tomorrow. But when you wait for tomorrow, and then you wait for tomorrow, and then you wait for tomorrow, and you wait for tomorrow, you're creating this void that people are needing leadership in. And that's where that opportunity comes, that you can step in. If you have this skill set and this strength, this inner strength and confidence through your competence, then you can rise up and be that leader for others.
Well, you know what? That's pretty much all the time we have for this episode today. Thank you for tuning in with us. And you know what? Make sure you subscribe to our MegaPixx media channel so you will never miss an episode. And also you can follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram. We have content almost every day. So thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you guys soon.